Hi, my name is Aaron Prager, and I created BoostT1D. Diabetes is one of the most widespread conditions in the world, affecting around 830 million people. I'm one of them. I've lived with type 1 diabetes for most of my life, and last year I started designing BoostT1D to help others like me. But this app isn't just for type 1 diabetics. It can also help type 2 diabetics and anyone who wants to make managing their sugars easier. The idea first came to me during a dinner with my friends who also have type 1 diabetes. We were served food, but we had no idea how many carbs were in it. For diabetics, the number of carbs reflects the amount of insulin that's needed. So I thought, wouldn't it make everybody's lives easier if there was a ubiquitous way to get carb information about food? Eventually, I realized that most aspects of managing one's insulin are programmable. Most diabetics wait months or more to go to the endocrinologist to change their insulin strategies, when in reality, diabetes necessitates it daily. When I was chosen to represent Massachusetts at Breakthrough T1D's Children of Congress, I got to talk to legislators and so many other type 1 diabetics who needed what I was able to make. It was there that I got the inspiration to create a full stack app for diabetics to use, and so I made BoostT1D. BoostT1D is built with over 30,000 lines of code across its web and iOS versions. Here's the stack that I used. This is BoostT1D. You can press on the icon to get an about, and you can sign up. Here you're just going to get asked for some basic data about yourself. Here you're going to have to enter a Night Scout URL. I'm going to use a test URL for this. I've populated this Night Scout with random data. This is what Night Scout looks like. It's a tool that most diabetics use, but if you don't have access to this tool, you can just enter all your data manually and use the app in the same way. Additionally, this app uses a lot of diabetes-specific terminology. Diabetics do know what this means, so there is no problem with miscommunication. You can press Test Connection to make sure that the app is connected to the Night Scout. And here, we are just saying that this is a purely informational app, so to make sure to use it with care. This is the dashboard. It shows everything that you can do with this app. If you press at the button on the top left, you can see your profile and change it if anything needs to be changed. And starting with blood glucose, you can see all your blood glucoses for a certain time range and some statistics about these blood glucoses. For example, A1C, average. You can see a chart and the raw data, and you can export the data as a CSV to show medical professionals for ease. Next, we have treatments. Here you can see all the treatments that you have been giving yourself. For example, on my pump, on this Night Scout, the most recent is 3.3 units of insulin given. You can select treatment types to see specific things. Next, at the heart of the app, you have therapy adjustments. It takes you through a disclaimer screen and shows you suggestions on how to adjust your therapy. It does this by taking previous sugars, previous insulin, and previous doses and calculating based on that the optimal changes to your doses in order to maintain a better sugar. This is important because diabetics can wait as long as, or even longer than, 6 months to go to the endocrinologist, where they will help do these dose changes. But the reality of diabetes means that you have to do this way more often than just every 6 months. People don't do this because it's a very complicated change to make and the math is difficult. But this app will allow you to do these changes with a lot more security and safety without having to wait 6 months to go to the endocrinologist. The diabetes profile is all your doses at the current time taken from the Night Scout. Food analysis, where you can take a photo of food and it can tell you how many carbs the food has, along with how much insulin you should give for the food. So, according to this, since it's a large sumo citrus fruit, it has 48 grams of carbs, and it suggests giving 0 units because if you press on the eye, you can find out why. It says, though my current glucose is high, I have 14.3 units of insulin on board, And because of this, it suggests giving nothing because that's already enough insulin. And I'm going to show two features that weren't present on the iOS version of the app. The first one is the buddy feature, which can show you accounts that have similar interests to yours, which is a field that you fill out in your profile, interests.
Next, I'll be showing the web version of the
and
app.
it can allow you to connect with them after sending a message. And if they accept your connection request, you can get their contact information so you can make new friends that have similar interests to yours with diabetes. Diabetes is a very lonely disease and causes depression in a lot of cases. And this is just one way I thought of helping with that. Next, I'll be showing the insulin access dashboard, which shows you a map of the different congressional districts, which are these dots, and how at risk your access to insulin is in that district. For example, you can press on this one, it's red, which means there's a pretty high risk. And you can see all the different factors of that risk, including what type of risk it is and the drivers of that risk, as well as legislation and things like that. It's currently all dummy data as this is a work in progress and it will be in version 2.0 of the app. You can also look at legislation by state, for example, all the legislation that has to do with insulin. And there are alerts showing any changes to insulin access at all, and you can sort them by these different filters. Overall, BoostT1D combines all the tools diabetics need on a daily basis and puts them under their fingertips.